Good morning, one and all. My name is Kathy, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today's episode is going to be based on the Craft Roulette Challenge from Friday, episode number 205, I believe, where we needed to make a card with an envelope, a crown, in party colors, and it had to include 3 strips of paper. So hopefully this is going to be quick and easy. It's just going to be a lot of stamping. I'm going to be using this rubber stamp, and I found that the maker is Julia Nutting, but I don't know the name of this stamp. She's a faceless girl, very pretty. And for my crown, I have this crown, and it says Spellbinders on the back, and I have it with all my other princess themes, and these are the same color, but these don't say Spellbinders, so I'm not sure it came from the same kit. I'm just going to be using the crown from here. And then I had this generic little envelope die cut. I got this at a yard sale, so I honestly have no idea where it came from, and there's no name on the back. I have cut that out already to save a little bit of time. It makes just this white shape like that. So I cut a little piece of blue to put behind it. And for my rubber stamp, this came from a magazine several years ago. Let's see if I just put my piece of paper down here to show you. It's a cake with candles at the top, and it says happy, and then it came with different sentiments, birthday, anniversary, something, and then it has all the different numbers. So I'm going to make this card for a 10-year-old girl, because 10's a pretty big milestone. And it even has the little THs and NDs that you need for, and STs that you need for first, second, third. And then I have my crown. I cut that out of silver glitter cardstock, and I wanted it a little thicker, so I cut a little piece of white to match. And then I have my strips of paper, and my card today is going to be my usual 5x7. This is a 10-inch by 7-inch piece of cardstock that I scored in half at 5 inches, folded over, creased it with a bone folder. And I wanted a blue card because I found this pretty paper. This is a pack that I got at a yard sale, but the sticker on it said Big Lots, and it was from 2008, so it's pretty old. But I wanted a blue card, and I don't have blue cardstock that's thick enough to hold up as a card. So I cut this piece of blue exactly at 5x7, so I'm going to put that right on the front. This piece of patterned paper is 4 13/16 by 6 13/16. That way it's just going to fit just inside that blue. And then I have a narrower piece of white today. This measures, I didn't measure this one, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. That way that'll allow a little bit of this pretty pattern to show through, because I want to pick up these colors in my card. I'm thinking this is a 10-year-old birthday party for a girl who loves blues. I'm going to start with stamping first, because I'm going to be using the VersaFine Clair in Nocturne, because I'm going to be using my alcohol ink markers, and this takes a few moments to dry. Not a whole long time to dry, but just a few minutes. So I'm going to get out my Misty stamping platform, and I have the waffle flower grip mats in there. Oh my gosh, I love these things. I've got a little bit of a squish in there. Oh, and I got some ink here, so I don't want this squishy part to show, so I'm going to get my sand eraser, if I can locate it here on my desk. Well, I think I can color over it. And I'm going to move this up to the top, because this girl is fairly long, but I only want, the girl will be covered. So I'm going to put her like this. Just get her to stick. Oh, come on, stick. Oh, I see, she's sticking to this. So let's put just a scrap down here. There we go. So you can use your thicker stamps in with the waffle flower grip mat, because it's a little snug. So you wouldn't want to put a lot of pressure, because you might break off the hinge. But just go gently. going to do a little bit more here. Just a little bit more on the lace, I think. And that looks good. So I'm going to take her off and clean her with some water. And I just sprayed the wrong direction. Do you ever do that? You have a squirt bottle and you have it facing your way instead of the other way. All right, just clean off that stamp with a little bit of water. And we'll set that one there. Now I want to take the cake. And I want it to be right here on the card at the bottom. This stamp is really old. I can't even think how old this is. It's so old that some of these little pieces aren't very sticky anymore. Oh, that looks good. All right. Squirted into the rag this time. Now the other parts I'm going to have to do by hand here, but I'm going to leave it on my stamping platform. Okay, we're going to get the 10. Try and put it where I want it. I might be able to do this with the platform. We shall see if they stick. The little TH. Let's see if we put the TH up there and the 10 there. That looks fairly, whoops. Getting it straight is one thing. Let's see if it'll stick in the platform. And it does, okay. Just a little bit more on that. That looks good. Take this off. Clean that a little bit. Use my bigger spray bottle. Now the birthday goes down here. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, it also sticks. Oh, perfect. Okay. Now we just pull that out and set that aside for a moment to dry. Clean off my stamping platform. And if you get any ink on it, on your grip mat, just squirt with water. Comes right off. Now I know they say reds and pinks will stain the color, but I haven't used a whole lot of them yet to find out. But this was the best purchase I have ever done. Now we're going to get these cards glued together. Let's see if I get any ink on my fingers here. I'll clean it off with a little wet one. It seems like I'm always covered in ink. The fun part about being retired is you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, pretty much. So I try to take Fridays off. Oh, come on. It's a brand new glue bottle. So that I can catch up on my housework. And today we're having a pretty winter storm out there. We don't have a whole lot yet, but between now and 4 a.m. tomorrow, we're expecting anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow now. And the temperature was only 21 when I got up this morning. I hope you all remember to turn your clocks ahead if you're on that daylight savings time. I'm not a big fan. I wish they'd pick one time and stick with it, but I go with the flow. I'm up early anyways with the sun or whenever my cats decide they want breakfast. See if that looks fairly straight, and it does. So I'm going to set this aside, and I have my large acrylic block that I customized. I'm going to set that on and bring this back to color on. Just getting a piece of scrap paper here. I'm trying to remember to talk on video. living alone, I tend to craft quietly on my own. So if I go to that, I apologize in advance. All right, now I've picked out a few colors for the skin. I'll start with that. I'm using R196, Barely Beige, and these are my Ohuhu alcohol markers that I got myself for Christmas. These and those waffle flower grip mitts, best purchase ever. That looks like hair. I'm not going to do a lot of shading in the face. I'm not comfortable with that yet, but I think I figured out how to do some shading and accents on the clothing. These Julia Nutting stamps I really like. I got quite a few of them at a scrapbook convention a few years ago. And then I did a video recently with one of them on one of my easel cards, the girl sitting. And I didn't know who the designer was because I really didn't care way back when whose design it was. I just got it because I liked it. And then I'm finding out that people want to know. So someone did tell me to look up Julia Nutting, and indeed these are her stamps. But I can't find some of the ones I have, so whether they're retired images, I don't know. This is kind of an odd shape in her leg here. I didn't really notice that before. Looks like her knees bent backwards. Or she's got a really big calf. The purpose of my videos is to get my supplies out and use them. As I have, as I've said before, the kid in the candy store syndrome. If I see something I like, I might just not buy one of them. I might buy as many of them as I can afford at the time. And then they were just sitting there. I never did anything with them. So now I'm getting them out and using them. And then put the inks down here as I'm done with them. Now, I want to do the dress. And I want to kind of coordinate with the blues. So I found B292 Light Sky Blue and B883 Cerulean Blue. The Cerulean Blue actually matches the color more, but I want to do the dress in like a lighter shade. This matches too. I mean, it's not as dark as you'll see the next color. And once I get my blues down, I'll kind of show you what I have in mind for shading. It may or may not work, but we're going to give it a go. I think I'll use the larger tip for this dress part down here. This way my overlapping brush strokes kind of make it look like it's a part of the dress. Now, I'm going to use the darker blue for her belt. And that's that. And now, it seems weird, but I've picked this primary yellow for her lacy underskirt because of the yellow in the card. It's more of a golden yellow. Doesn't look like a primary yellow to me. When I think primary yellow, I think a bright, vivid yellow. Now on plain scratch paper, it looks more yellowy. That's why when you use alcohol markers and you want to swatch them out, do it on the kind of paper you're going to be putting in the background. Now I'm going to try my highlights. For highlights, I'm going to use Beige 043. It's a cool gray. And I'm just going to, I might do this wrong. I'm just going to go a little bit on the side here. Just a smidge. I want to use a finer point over here. Just to highlight her waist a little bit. And then just a few here as like a shadow. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Did that work or not? Okay, now for her hair, I've chosen brown because the girl I have this picture for has brown hair. I'm going to use E763 Potato Brown and E761 Vigogne. It's Vigogne. All right. If you go out a little bit, that's okay. Just go over the line. And make it look like you intended it to be there. The beauty of handmade cards is they can be what you want them to be. I must admit, sometimes they come out looking absolutely horrible and you scrap them. But I've also found that the cards I'm not particularly fond of, they're the first one that catches people's eye when you show them to them and they go, oh, I like that one. And I'm going, okay. So you never know. What appeals to you may not appeal to someone else, and what does not appeal to you definitely will appeal to somebody else. And now I'm going to try some highlights here. Just following the lines that were drawn on the stamp, just to make it a little bit of a darker shade of brown. And she actually had a headband that you could choose, but I didn't want the headband on since I was going with a crown. Okay, now for the cake. Oh yeah, I can figure why did I get these colors out? Because I want to do the candles. And I'm going to use R584 Coral Haze. It's kind of a, it sort of matches this, but not totally. It kind of looks red on the card. But, so I'm going to do the candles in the red. And then the flame, I'm using YR892 French Vermilion. It's an orange. Okay, and for the happy, I want to do that cerulean blue again. That way it matches the band of the dress. A lot of girls like purple. The girl I have in mind just loves blue, so I think this will make her happy. I hope. 10's a big milestone when you're a young girl. Hitting those double-digit numbers. And then from there on, it kind of goes downhill. Unless you're lucky enough to make triple digits. Okay, now, oh, I think I'll do the plate in blue. The cake is sitting on a platter. I hadn't really thought of what I wanted to do there. Okay, this next part may not work like I'm picturing in my head, but I want to take these liquid pearls, dimensional pearlescent paint in white opal. This is by Ranger. I'm just going to put some here on my glass mat. And I have a paintbrush sitting right here in this mess. I want to paint the cake. I don't know how it's going to go over the letters. And you probably can't see this very well on camera. Okay, it went over the letters just fine. It tones them down a little bit. That's one reason I wanted this to dry. I'll bring it up and show you. Oh, I went a little bit outside of the line there. I'll just scrape that off here with my... But I want the cake to be white, but shiny. And I thought, well, these perfect pearls might just be the ticket. I was just going to use my traditional standby winks of Stella, which would have worked perfect. But I wanted this to be a little different. Now, clean this up. I didn't need to put that much out. And then I'll set my brush aside to wash here in a few moments. And get my tweezers and just scrape up where I got the pearls that I didn't want. So it's still wet, so it looks a little splotchy, but I think that they will dry just fine. Now, I do need to add on the envelope, and since I have a little bit of ink splurt right there, I was thinking of adding the envelope onto her arm. So I'll get out my art glitter glue here, glue the envelope down. Oh, come on. None of my glues are working well with me today. I know this bottle's almost empty, so that could be the problem. There we go. Okay. And I think I'm going to take the red from the candle and color that heart. There, just like that. I do want to pop up the envelope just a smidge. So I'm going to use a little bit of my 1/8 inch foam tape here. It looks like I can fit 2 pieces on the back. This is a very low loft foam tape, so it won't stick up too far. But just enough. And I'm going to stick that right there. Now I have to put on the 3 strips. And I've cut a couple of different strips in slightly different sizes. I'm kind of thinking no, I don't want one at the bottom. Maybe just along here, like that. Yes, okay. That's what I'm going to do. Glue these down. Didn't need that much glue, but we're going to put one here. And these are just scraps in various rough cuts. And I'll move that up a little bit more. Oh, I need this one to be a little bit longer. Okay, now we'll cut off the end. Need a little bit more glue at the end here. I didn't get my strip long enough. There we go. All right, now, whoop. Now this is going to get glued down to here, and then I need to embellish it. Well, that's the one that didn't work. Got to put her crown on here when we're done too. Can't forget the crown, and I almost did. All right, now got to glue the pieces of the crown together. This I'm going to put down flat. I don't want to pop it up, but I put on 2 just to make it a hair thicker and give it a little bit more dimension on the card. I had several different of these paper dolls, but I had to find one that the crown would fit on her head just right. Some the crown was too big, some the crown was too small. That one worked great. Now I need some, it needs some sequins. I think I'm thinking of adding some silver sequins on to kind of coordinate with the crown. Maybe a couple of down here by her legs. And something's odd about that placement. I like them down here. I'm not sure about up here. Maybe we'll put 3. No, just 2 down there. Okay, that's it. My mind says, stop, you've got it. May not be, but that's what my mind's telling me. This one needs to go, yeah, right there. Hello. Okay, let's see. I've got party colors, an envelope, a crown. What else am I missing here? Oh, and the 3 strips of paper. So that's it. That's my card for this week's Craft Roulette Challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm having fun making these videos, and I'm trying to improve my shading a little bit there. Well, thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I wanted to show you, I added a little bit of stickles in diamond to the candles so that they look like there's some flames.